Good morning, and happy birthday, USA. I'm hoping that Ruth is checking on me because I may not have posted that I am uh, posting that this is public, but just to friends. So, however she fixes that for me, I will appreciate it. Hey, Candy, how are you? Happy birthday weekend. This is July 5th, and it is our holiday weekend for Independence Day. Independence Day is about freedom, and freedom is not just necessarily a physical happening, it's also something that we feel in our minds and in our hearts. And freedom is a state of mind. It does not have to be that we can be out and about every single moment. Candy, I've got you down for a card today. It is about that we can feel freedom. Hey, Deborah. Okay, I've got you down as well. And it's about the fact that no matter what, we have nothing to prove because we are free. We know that we are free. We know that this works. We know that this is how life is, and it is wonderful. We are whole, healthy, and well. We are not focusing on everything that is happening in the news. I just posted, I hope it got out there because I realized that although I planned my post, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And I just got, hey Angie, you are next to have a card as well. I posted about turn down the noise. Hey, oh, Carla, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Lisa, yes. This is a wonderful day. And again, we acknowledge our freedom and we appreciate our freedom and we are thankful for it because it is a state of mind. We can focus on the fact of those things that we can't do, or we can relish what we can. I never thought that I could do without dancing as much. Hey, Ruth, I see that you're on, so please check my settings. Who knows what I did again? You know how I need you to help me out. Yes, we are whole, happy, healthy, and well. Thank you, Ruth, for watching out for me. I appreciate you so much. Love you. So, where are we now? We are whole, healthy, and well. And Deborah just added in happy. We are whole, happy, well, and loved. And that is the most important part. Thank you, Ruth. So it is really amazing when we watch what's happening around us. And we do it in I call it the bumper sticker version, rather than the elongated version of what's happening. We only need to know what we need to know. I call it turning down the noise. Hey, Brenda, I sent you a text. I hope you got it because I answered your question. So please check, okay? Wanda, yes, Wanda, thank you. The most important part and what I learned, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, when I was in a place that was very noisy. And this was what I spoke about. And again, I'm going to talk about it later with another way of focusing, more information about how to do that. But it's important for us to stay focused on where we're going and what it is that we want to do. If we allow the outside noise to affect us, that's when the fear creeps in. We're insecure, we're not feeling safe. There's just so many things that can make us feel that we are not part of this world, that how could this be happening to us? There are so many things that it could mean, but it doesn't. It means, and we stay in that focus, that we are whole, healthy, well, happy, that just got added in, and loved. So this morning, just after midnight, was the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn. And that happened at 13 degrees Capricorn. So the moon is still in Capricorn right now. The sun is in Cancer. What happens with the full moon is one is opposite the other. And this is now the last of our summer eclipses. This is a full moon lunar eclipse. So Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are still retrograde in Capricorn, giving us still that heavy earth energy. And once we move into the air energy and the fire energy of Leo on July 22nd, we're going to feel lighter. We're going to feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're seeing it sort of moving in and out, moving in and out. Hey, Jamie, Jess, oh, I'm so glad you're here. So it's been happening for us. And this heavy energy is doing that. Mercury is also retrograde. We have 5 planets retrograde now. So Venus and the North Node are still in Gemini, and now Venus is direct. So that's lightened us up, and especially in our communication and how we understand what we hear. Now think about that. Venus is about love, abundance, the feeling good at the arts, feeling good about everything. And when it was retrograde, we had a chance to look at the darker side of that and then revisit how we understand what we hear. So think about it. It's not just how we communicate to others. It's how we are understanding what we hear. Are we reading between the lines to make it appear worse than it really is? We can always make it worse than it really is. I mean, I've been there. I know how that feels. But I choose and make this a choice. I choose. And the beauty of life is that we have a choice to see how we observe what we're hearing and listening to. So those things that are happening as we are now going to, as the year moves on, lighten up with a lot of this and see how we need to progress. We'll see some answers to what's been happening. We'll know how we are going to live life in this new normal, and that's not a newly coined phrase. That's been around since the turn of the last century. So whatever this new normal is, it's just another one. It's just another one. So we've got work to be done, and we're going to be seeing with this full moon lunar eclipse, we're seeing what work we need to do. And that it doesn't have to be outer work, physical work. It can be internal work as well. What adjustments do we need to make? Adjustments in our thinking, adjustments in our behavior. What is the plan? How are we going to see this moving forward so that we feel comfortable? Whether it's our business, how are we now enacting our business? Yesterday I was on the Burning Woman. I had one of the sessions for Burning Woman out of the UK, out of England. I had a great session that I totally loved with the interaction for an hour, which was create the future you desire. And I did that with meditation and a reading and then follow-up. And it was amazing to see the interaction of people, not just here in the States, but around the world. So it's about standing up for who you are, knowing that you have the power, and proceeding from there. That's the one thing that we feel is taken away from us, is when we feel powerless, but we're really not. So you can now move forward, and that's what we're now planting the seeds in hallowed ground for this moving forward on now standing in our own power to expect the best. Now notice I use the word expect, and that's part of using the universal law of creation. It is what we expect. If we expect the worst, that's what we're going to get. If we expect the overall impact of everything to be wonderful, that's what's going to happen. If we are whole, healthy, and well, happy, and loved, that's what we're going to get. So Mercury retrograde really is helping us. I do not mind retrograde planets. It kind of takes a break from some of the pressure that's on us. And with Mercury retrograde, we get to revisit and look at how we've been moving forward and how we can make those changes. And Mars and Chiron that are in Aries have made a T-square. Now, big deal, T-square. Okay, so it is geometry, but it is also the fact that it makes a strong emphasis on this full moon happening in Capricorn and the sun in Cancer. So this is preparing that hallowed ground so we can plant those seeds now. This is so important to think about where it is that you want to go. So with each sign, that is each of the sun signs, let me just give you a brief overview of how this lunar eclipse has affected you. We have three. We've had 3 eclipses in a row for this summer, and all of them have accented Cancer and home, and how we look at home, and how we act in home, and what is the adjustment that we have to make there. Lord knows we've been doing that. Now the next major eclipse will be in the fall, and that's where we see all of the pieces coming together. Planting the seeds now to have all of the pieces coming together is super, super, super important. So that is how we're going to make this happen. So if you are in Aries, This is accenting your career and your public image. This is looking at how you show up in the world. How are people seeing you? And this is really important. This is super important because this is happening in Capricorn. Capricorn rules the 10th house of the zodiac, which is about career. It's about your self-esteem and ambition. And hey, Keith, and this is how this shows up for you. So with it, for if you are an Aries sun sign, and if you know your rising sign, also listen to that as well. If you are Taurus, you are growing as a person because you are learning now how to, you can't get out and about and do learn, and because you love learning as a Taurus, you love learning, you love the arts, you love all of those things, and you're having difficulty getting out and doing that for the restrictions that we have. But that doesn't mean, okay, Keith, so am I, and your last name is Leon. My middle name is Leona, so that it goes along with that as well. Okay, so Jess, I just read Aries. Good for you. That is a really, really wonderful thing for you with the public image and the things that are going out and your career, because it's showing the focus there and the blossoming. So for Taurus, if you're growing in that process, you're learning new ways of learning. You're discovering new ways to get information, and especially if you're in a business and you're now figuring out, how do I do this more online? How do I get my message out there, because you can't be doing events or be there in person? Oh, good. Thank you, Jess. And it is just so amazing then to learn all the different ways that you can see that, to be involved in at different levels, to get out there, even like the Facebook Live that I'm doing here. That's something that you can consider as well. And you've been noticing that there have been more of those things happening. If you are a Gemini, this full moon lunar eclipse happened in your 8th house. And this is totally about transformation. Yes, the 8th house is also about taxes and other people's money, partners' money, and inheritances and legacies. But with all of the impact of everything that's happening and that right now, this is really about transformation. How are you communicating? Gemini is an air sign. It's all about, and ruled by Mercury. So how are you communicating? How are you getting out in the world? How are you showing up? And again, I want to emphasize that what we've been learning about is how we listen to messages that are given to us, whether it's social media or the news or what people relay to you. You have the choice to hear that message in a positive way or not. So it's not just how you're communicating, it's how you're receiving messages and what is your choice with that. So again, Gemini, major transformation in that whole communication area and in who you are. And this has been a big one for you as well. Now Cancer, the sun is in Cancer. This is about relationships for you. This is the 7th house. This is, how are you viewing those relationships? With the moon in Capricorn, that's the opposite sign of Cancer. You don't have control over everything that everybody does. Isn't that a wonderful thing to know? And sometimes, especially if we have children or other close relationships and we've been living with people closely, we want to have more control of our environment and our relationships to make it a more peaceful thing. Well, when I am approached by, because I really don't get into other people's stuff. I used to, that was a big thing, but not anymore, because my approach is, I'm a full-time job for me. So I can't really be worrying about what other people are doing or how to have them act differently. That is more that I can handle, because I'm the full-time job for me. So just take a look at relationships. Take a breather, Cancer. Give them a break. Now, take a different approach with how you are looking at them. Are you then stifling growth or allowing them to grow? Because sometimes we just need give them a little wiggle room just to find that level place where whoever that is in your life can then move out into blossoming, into expansion. But the more that we try and hold people down, the more they chafe at that, and then we're stifling that growth. So the most important part, and especially with children, they've been home now for a long time, and It's now, what are the new ways that we can help them grow? That really, really is important. Hey, Kat, thank you for being here. Okay, Leo, here we go, Keith. Leo, we got to get into that. Angie, Leo. Okay, this is about general health and well-being. This is in the 6th house for Leo. And this is also about our everyday work habits. So it does apply to work, and it does apply to home in terms of what is our routine? How are we streamlining that routine to make it easier? How are we doing that? But I'm feeling more that the emphasis is really on health. Are we taking care of ourselves? I'm saying we because I'm the Leo as well. Are we taking care of ourselves? This past week, I find my primary care physician has had some medical issues, and I didn't see her for a year and a half. And I finally did get to see her, all within this whole time of all of this happening in Capricorn and this eclipse accenting it. So it's important that we're taking care of that. Some massage therapists are opening up, following strict guidelines for staying healthy and staying safe. Maybe it's time to take a look at that. Any moment of self-care, just even if it's an extra few minutes to meditate, or yoga with Brenda, and using her yoga techniques along with weights the way she does. That is taking care of yourself. That is so important, to take care of yourself. So please remember that, Leo, especially because we're a strong fire sign, and we can be headstrong. And I happen to be a Leo sun and a Leo rising, so that gets in there right away. Yes, meditation in the woods for me. Okay, see, Keith, you found your place. And that really is great. Yes. Okay, and Brenda, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Virgo, beautify the world around you. Now, this means moving it, because this is and applies to your 5th house. So this is about children. I call it the fun house. It's the house ruled by Leo. So it's about having a good time with vacations. Okay, those are changing. But creativity is one of the things in this house. Creativity. Okay, Angie, massage therapist coming to your home. Perfect. Perfect. That is so great. That is wonderful. I have a gift certificate, and I am using mine this coming week for the first time in months. So yes, we're doing it. So Virgo, involve your creativity. Grasp that creativity, Virgo. You're an earth sign. You are there in that grounding, wonderful thing, but you also have tremendous attention to details. Look around your world. How can you simplify it? Sometimes if we've been sitting at home for a long time, things become invisible. We don't tend to see things. We can overlook things that are really impacting us emotionally and spiritually, because maybe it's clutter, maybe it's I have to move things around, whatever it happens to be. It can be just minor little things. Take a look at what your world around you. How can you beautify that? How can you make it feel better? How can it open up to you so that you can say, wow, this is a great idea. I feel the creativity in this moment, and now I'm going to apply it. And the details and the blossoming that comes out of that is absolutely amazing. Think about that, Virgo. Be creative. Libra, this is your 4th house, so this is about home. It's finding balance there. Oh my goodness. So there's a lot going on at your home, and especially if you have children at home. It's what's the balance and the juggle that's been going on there. Finding that balance, because you have to take care of you first, especially if you are the caregiver, parent, whomever. You're the one that's kind of responsible and the nurturing person in that group. You've got to figure out how to do that and nurture yourself as well. Think about how you're taking care of everybody else. What are you doing for you? It really is about you are going to be happier, healthier, whole and well if you're taking care of yourself as well. You're doing beautiful things with those around you. And now, how are you going to do this for yourself? So finding that balance at home is key. really key. Yes, Laura, I did Cancer already, and so it will be on the replay. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yay. So Scorpio, the most intense sign of the zodiac, water sign, intense sign of the zodiac, ruler of the 8th house of transformation. So how are you interacting with your environment? And this is a good question. And this seems to be a theme as we go through the different signs. How are you interacting with your environment? How are you avoiding drama, or are you in the drama? How are you interacting with the people? Are you trying to be more controlling in that environment? Take a look at it. How can you take the pressure off of you? How can you take the pressure and the stress off of you? Thank you, Laura. This is really important. Again, we are moving into a different way of acting and being and seeing things and understanding our messages and passing on our messages. It's really important that we are clear and positive. Clear and positive, especially staying in that energy of whole, healthy, and well. That is so super important. So Scorpio, it's difficult because you're also a fixed sign. It's difficult sometimes for us to, for Scorpio, and I'm saying us because Leo's a fixed sign as well, to make that move, because you're going to hold on to that thought. You're going to hold on to what you're doing. Yes, Deborah, it is trust and allow. And when you trust and allow, you open yourself up to the answers. And that's what's really important. The answers are there, but allow them to come to you. Thank you, Deborah, for that. Sagittarius. This is about exploring your self-esteem within the community, within your local group, how that's happening. It's really important to not go into the drama, to not fall into whatever the people around you are thinking or saying or being. It's really important for you to stay in the light. And Sagittarius, you are a fire sign, so you can stay in the light. Please remember that. You are a fire sign. You are the light. So create that light for yourself and create that light for others. Again, interpreting and understanding the message that you are passing or receiving. Capricorn. Okay, here you go. This is in your sign, Capricorn. This is in your sign. So, and you will be wearing your whole heart on your sleeve with this eclipse. That's not a bad thing. You are solid and stable and out there and know what's happening. It's really, really important for you to not just wear your heart on your sleeve, but show it to others. Let people know that you are a caring individual and how much love that you have. Staying in that positive energy of love and appreciation and not falling backwards. Capricorn, you can do this. This is so amazing for you because this is happening in your first house. So this is about your being the light, not just staying in the light, but your being in the light. So that's really important. Aquarius, this is happening in your 12th house. So this is what happens behind the scenes of the first house. This is the unconscious mind. It's about solitude and it's about being alone, and that's okay. So this gives us the opportunity to clear our heads and our thinking. You're an air sign. There's a lot of thoughts and a lot of energy going on there. So this is the opportunity for you to clear your thinking and to focus and gain clarity. So take care of yourself. Take care of that opportunity that you have to be still. There's so much going on in your head because you are an air sign. Yes, there's so much going on because you are an air sign. If you need to make your list of things that you need to do, put it on a list. Sometimes just writing that list makes us feel a little better. And then take one thing at a time. Don't see the whole project all at once. Just take one thing at a time, but take that opportunity, Aquarius, for clarity and focus. Yes, clarity and focus. Wow. Oh, Michelle, you also have your Saturn return as well. Wow, this has been a big year for you. A big couple years, actually. Okay, congratulations. You picked a very eventful time to have your Saturn return. Pisces. This is happening in your 11th house, and this is the house of social groups and organizations. So you're finding a shakeup there. There's, of course, it's how we deal with it, how we network, how we are with our friends. I know that Zoom is being used a lot. I mean, I use it as well. So, okay. Okay, there you go, Jess. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I love your comments. That's wonderful. So now, with this shakeup, Pisces, and you feel this in your heart because you are a water sign and the most sensitive and intuitive of all the signs. So this is about show and share how you feel. You have your own reasons for being who you are, your own opportunity to be who you are. So it's about sharing how you feel. You have opinions, and it's okay. You do not have to follow the crowd, especially Pisces. That's really important. You need to honor yourself and honor your own spirit to be who you are. And this eclipse allows you to do that. So if you feel like you're coming out all of a sudden and really being able to stand on your own, this is giving you the power and the energy to do that. So that's really fantastic, and it's really important that this is happening. So I want to thank you because all of you here have really given so much energy to not only what was read for you, but also for your rising sign as well. And then to have Michelle also be in her Saturn return at this very eventful time, that is fantastic. Oh my goodness. So I have 3 people to do the cards for. And hey Chris. Oh, it has been a long time. Yes, it has. I miss you. Mwah. So here we have 3 cards, Candy, Deborah, and Angie. Keep in mind that whatever cards that you're seeing here will also apply to you. So be very thankful that Candy, Deborah, and Angie commented first, engaged first to have this happen, because it also allows you to have the opportunity to have a 3-card reading, even if these are not just yours. So let me shuffle. Yesterday on the Burning Woman event in my session, there were quite a few that had the opportunity to get the single card reading and understood the fact that it wasn't just one, it was the fact that there were 5 people that got, because I had some extra time at the end of my session, there were 5 people that had readings and they actually got a 5-card reading. So here we go. Okay, one more shuffle in this wonderful positive energy of this full moon, and here we go. Candy. Okay, and you had something similar to this before, I think, Candy, and I'm not really sure. But this is the 8 of Cups. So this is about, okay, letting something go, and you've been holding on to it, and it's all finished, but you still kind of keep staying there. You still kind of keep holding on to whatever this is. You know that you have to move forward. You know that you have to take on whatever new thing is happening, and make sure you do. Make sure that you finally let this go. It's really, really important. It does not have to be something relating to business necessarily. It doesn't have to be a project. It could be related to business. Okay, I'm feeling that it involves a person that you've been holding on to, that it's all finished. Whatever you're doing with this person, whether business or not, or personal, whatever's been happening now, it's really time to just let it go. You know that you've done everything you possibly can, and now it's time to finish it and walk away. That's what this is feeling, is that it's time to let it go. Because yes, it looks like you're now leaving it into the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, and yes, a lot of us are feeling that, but it's all right. Trust and allow, as Deborah said. Trust and allow. That's how you're going to move forward, and that's how you're going to make this happen. Okay, a couple of shuffles here. Deborah Robbins. Oh, and I think you might have had this one before too. And in fact, when I did a reading for the event yesterday with my friend, this was the card that came up. This is the Prince of Cups. This is just how you operate fully from your heart. Okay, good, Candy. Oh, I'm so glad. It's time, Candy. You've been kind of hesitating, but no, go for it. Full blast. Do it. So this is the Prince of Cups, which is about full love and operating fully from the heart. Just, that is the only thing that you know. You can't think negatively about other people. You can't think negatively about what's happening in your world. You know fully how much you love. You and I talked not that long ago about a new project that you're working on and a new product that you're developing. That was done with pure love, not just for yourself, but for other people. It's important for you to stay in that space, for you to even survive. And that seems a little extreme, but that's who you are. So this just acknowledges that anything that happens has to come from the heart. Okay, and Angie, my friend. Okay, let's get one more shuffle. Okay, here we go. And you've had this one before, I think, Ange. I'm not really sure. But this is Major Arcana, and this is the Wheel. So this is about, you've got some things on your mind about, because your mind is always working. And especially with your love for essential oils and how they can be used to make people feel better. Your mind is always going with that. This is saying you have, and this feels like you have a new project that's near and dear to your heart. And it's like, well, should I get it started? Should I not? And this is, the Wheel means take a chance. Yes, it can work. It can be out there happening. The Wheel is also about change. It's about, it's like the cycles of the moon. You know, that wheel goes around and things can change. And, oh, okay, maybe I was thinking it was the world when I first looked at it, because I know you've had that before. So here it is. Take a chance and do it. You'll never know unless you really try it, unless you get out there and actually make that happen. So whatever it is you're thinking about, and especially in this new way that we do things, it's really important that you get out there and do what you need to do. Because I know that you can, but if you have been waffling on a project, think about it. Okay? Think about it. And that's what's really good. Do it. That seems to be a theme as well. Thank you so much for today. Miss Chris, I will be texting you as soon as I finish to say hello. I am so grateful and thankful and appreciative that you show up on Sundays for me to be here and do this with you. It's really wonderful. I normally would have done the Independence Day reading, but because of this eclipse that happened this morning, I wanted to focus on that and how it affected your sun sign and your rising sign, of course, if you knew that. So next week, I will do the reading on on independence, how we find our independence and our own sense of freedom, because that's what's really important, especially at this time. I really appreciate you. I love you dearly. If you'll notice in the comments, I put the link to the bit.ly link to Facebook. If you have not done it already, I still am blocked from being able to write and post theclaritycreator.com. It comes up immediately that I have been reported as abusive. Those of you that know me and have seen what I do and been with me know that that is not the case. So if you would then use that link, if you haven't already, I really would appreciate your responding to Facebook in the positive, that I operate from a very loving, caring space. I am not abusive. So I've read the community guidelines. I've not violated them in any sense that I can see. So I have no idea how I was reported. That doesn't really matter. What matters is you're being kind enough to post to Facebook through that link, that bit.ly link for a Facebook response form, that that's not the case and that I should be allowed to share my website. So I appreciate that. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful Independence Day weekend. I hope you had a happy 4th of July yesterday. I have my little charge, Riley, laying down here, who is my friend's dog, who absolutely loves commercials that have dogs in it because she runs up to the TV and dances and barks in front, and it's really quite entertaining. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and remember, joy has your name on it. Love you.